I already thought NIL was crazy as it is now, but it just took a wild, and I mean a wild turn. This is game changing, and not only do I think it's terrible for the game itself, I think it's awful for the fans. As Scooby-Doo would say, "Ruh-roh, Raggy," I feel like a lot of college football fans, they're not going to like this. Or actually, it's not a feeling the more I think about it. I'm almost certain everybody's going to hate this, and rightfully so. But first things first, we haven't checked out the comment section in quite a while, so let's see what some of you guys have been saying on some of the recent videos. I was throwing around a football with my friends when White Randy, the man, the myth, the legend himself, hopped out of the passenger seat of a purple sedan, mossed my friend, and ran off with the football. I can confirm that was me, and all I gotta say about it is, thanks for the ball, nerd. I'm not even gonna read this comment, I just have a question. Why did you start this off with Matt B. Diddy? Okay. I think we've crossed the line. Matt B. Shannon Sharp? This is the last one I'm going to read. Matt hasn't said nothing on the Matt B. Vandy allegations the past 5 straight days. Well, here's my question. I have no idea what you're talking about. What are the Matt B. Vandy allegations? I know we got a Vandy fan that's always commenting something about Vandy football, but I have no idea what the allegations are. Please fill me in the comment section on that. But getting that out the way, let's log back in with this video. The past few years, what has been one of the biggest conversations and biggest topics in all college football? 3 letters. NIL. If you don't know what NIL stands for, it's name, image, and likeness. We've talked plenty about it. It's caused a ton of controversies even to this day, and I feel like we've just opened up Pandora's box and we're just getting started with all of it. Because remember, NIL hasn't been into effect for 20, 30, 40 years. It just started. Who knows how much it's going to change just within the next 5 to 10 years. Think about how much it has changed already just within the past couple of years. Before I go any farther, I got to give you some context. The whole point of NIL being implemented is so players like Johnny Manziel, for example, could make money off of his autographs and stuff like that. That was the whole purpose and intent behind NIL. We wanted all these top players, and since we already used them, I'll say them again, Johnny Manziel, since they were making these programs like A&M millions and millions of dollars, we wanted Manziel to get a piece of the pie. For years, A&M sold Johnny Manziel's jersey. It just had his number on it, didn't have his name on it, and they were making money on it, but Johnny Manziel couldn't do that? Yeah, that's a messed up system. So eventually the law gets passed. These players, they can now do that. They can make money from autographs, selling their jersey, etc., etc. Can't emphasize it enough. That is what NIL was made for. I feel like nowadays, if you're just tuning into college football and you just start watching, you probably didn't even know that. I am very passionate about this subject and topic. NIL wasn't made for what it has slowly but surely become. It was made so if you were a top college football player, you could benefit off of that. Fast forward time into our current day, 2024, what has it turned into? It's relatively simple. You got all these top tier colleges just buying high school recruits. Speaking of Texas A&M, I guess they're just a great example for this video. Jimbo Fisher and A&M did it a couple years ago in 2022. Had that amazing top tier recruiting class. Ohio State's doing it. All these schools are doing it. You now have colleges approaching 10th and 11th graders in high school and offering them millions of dollars. Remember, only a few years ago when this all started, why was it made? So you can make a couple extra buckaroos after signing an autograph for a company or selling some jerseys. And also do some sponsorships and brand deals like a commercial, stuff like that. Like, for example, Bryce Young did the Dr. Pepper Fansville commercial. Like I was saying, getting back on track, it has now turned into kids just simply getting bought out by these schools and colleges. Which it is what it is. I'm not mad about it, and if you're mad about it, I offer you this advice. Hate the game, not the player. If you're upset about Ohio State spending, what was their budget, like 15, 20 million? Well, they're just playing by the rules. They're not doing anything illegal, so yet again, hate the game, not the player. I share all that with you to lead me into the main focal point of this video, and it's the reason I'm making it. I already thought NIL was crazy as it is now, but it just took a wild, and I mean a wild turn. This is game changing, and not only do I think it's terrible for the game itself, I think it's awful for the fans. Have you ever heard of a service charge before? If you've ever bought anything with a credit card or debit card, I'm sure you have. Well, listen to this. Tennessee is adding a 10% talent fee to their ticket prices to raise money for NIL. Or I said NIL, it's for the players, but you get what I'm saying, it all goes hand in hand. I mean, seriously, are you kidding me? I thought this was a joke. So if you already didn't like NIL, you're surely not going to like it after hearing this news. So now what's happening, Tennessee is trying to put it on the fans. It's on their dollar. I think it's pathetic for multiple different reasons, but let me go over a couple of them real quick. Number one, for those of you that don't know, Colleges are the best businesses in the world. They make the most money, they profit the most money, is one of the best out there. So it's not like the University of Tennessee is struggling revenue-wise. No, they got the bread. Another reason why I really despise this is because, I mean, have y'all seen this economy recently? Most people that go to these football games are average Joes like me and you. They ain't rich. We was this way growing up, and I feel like a bunch of people are as well. We'd save up money to go to one game a year. My point is, people are already spending their every last dollar to go to these games and take their families and kids to these games. And now you're going to add 10% on top of that? Of course I don't like it. It comes off as greedy to me. This is like a rich man asking you for $5. Tennessee has a stupidly large amount of money, and they're asking us for more. And the really sad part is they're taking advantage of their fan base because they know people love college football and they're going to pay the extra 10%. And I'm going to remind some of y'all, that's not the only way Tennessee's making money. They're not just making money on these tickets. Where they make their big buckaroos is parking and the concession stands. And don't even get me started on concession stands. I can make an entirely separate 20-minute video just going on a rant about that. I am still mad to this day about the Jumbo Pretzel incident. If you know about the Jumbo Pretzel incident, you know. I think I've only told this story maybe once on the channel, so I'll share it with y'all again. I took my brother to the Alabama-Ole Miss game. This was about 3 years ago. It was a top 10 matchup. Alabama was 1, Ole Miss was 9. This is when they had Matt Corral. It was the game where Lane Kiffin said, "Get your popcorn ready," and Alabama proceeded to beat his eyes in. Anyways, we're at the game, me and my brother. It's the end of the second quarter. We're up by like 20. I was like, you know what? I'm going to try to beat the halftime rush. Let's go see what they got to eat. To give you some context, I wouldn't label myself as a cheapskate, but I am frugal, and I hate even saying the term frugal. I just view it as being smart with my money. Anyways, we're at line at the concession stand, and they had what you could get available on the board or whatnot, but I couldn't see any of the prices. It's like the numbers fell off the screen, and there was no prices there whatsoever. We already decided we was going to eat somewhere else after the game because number one, it'd be better food, and number two, it'd be cheaper. So I just needed a nice little snack to get me through the rest of the game, and I was like, hey, a Jumbo Pretzel, that sounds pretty good. And my brother wanted a water. By the time we get up there, I say, hey, can I do 1 water and 1 Jumbo Pretzel? Lady's adding it up on the cash register, and she's like, okay, Jumbo Pretzel, 1 water, that'd be $20, sir. When she said that, I wish I could have seen my face. I just turned around, and I was, because you're all jumbled up together with everybody, and I was looking to see if she was talking to somebody else, but no, she was talking to me. That's what I asked her. I said, are you talking to me? And she said, yeah, it's $20. I said, $20? No. I just got the Jumbo Pretzel in the water. She said, oh, yeah, it's $20. I then asked her, well, how much was the Jumbo Pretzel? And she said, oh, it's $13. $13 for a Jumbo Pretzel. Are you kidding me? I didn't say that to her, but that's what I was thinking in my head. You gotta eat, though, and it was hot, so what are you gonna do? I give her the $20 bill. Keep in mind, when I handed her the $20 bill, I didn't have my food, so I'm thinking, oh, yeah, it's kind of expensive, but maybe it's good. I don't know why, but I actually had high expectations for it. She hands me the water. Of course, there's nothing to evaluate there. It's just water. I give it to my brother. And she hands me a Jumbo Pretzel, but it's wrapped up, and I didn't even unwrap it until we sat back down in our seats. And oh yeah, I almost forgot to throw this in there. I didn't get cheese with it. Just straight up Jumbo Pretzel. I don't even like cheese on a pretzel, but whatever. That's really besides the point. I sit down. I am like salivating. I'm thinking it's about to be the best Jumbo Pretzel ever. I open it up, and this thing's only got 3 grains of salt on it. 3! Y'all don't even know. I'm being dead serious. How much that pissed me off. 3 grains of salt. What are we doing? And if you eat a pretzel, you know what I'm talking about. You gotta have the grains of salt on it. At this point in time, I'm like, whatever. Maybe it's fluffy. I take a bite of it, and no lie, it tastes like cardboard. Tasted like cardboard and had the texture of a shoe. And ever since that day, you can't make this up, I have not been back to a college football game. That was like 3 years ago. Did that ruin my experience? I don't know. I guess you could say it did. Oh my gosh, dude. Just thinking about that, I am getting pissed. Just reminiscing. $13. Get the F out of here. Matter of fact, next time I spend $13 on a pretzel, it better make my hair grow back. And I just thought about this, guys. That was back in 2021. I know the prices have went up since then. Sorry for the whole pretzel rant. The whole moral of that story is they be taxing at the concession stand. Getting back on track here with this whole talent fee situation, listen to what the AD had to say. It's a talent fee and it's going directly to the talent. It's going to our student athletes as part of this new world order in college sports, so I know our fans will embrace it. Very arrogant to just assume your fans are going to embrace paying an extra 10%, but hey, that's just me. There's many more quotes I could show you, but this is going to be the last one. This is Danny White talking about how he knows his fans are going to do a good job of still continue to sell out arenas and sell out venues and yada, yada, yada. They do a phenomenal job of filling out our venues, buying hats and t-shirts, and in all the different ways that they invest in our program, this is another way that they can help us be more competitive. Or, and it's just a big or, Tennessee could pay for it themselves. But hey, I know that's such a wild and bizarre idea, right? I just don't understand why Danny White is so confident that the fans are going to back this. Who would back this? I mean, who would be excited to pay extra money to go to games? It's stupid, man. And tickets are already overpriced as it is. We didn't even talk about that. And oh yeah, how about we talk about this? What happens when all your fans, they spend all this money and the team sucks? I'm not saying it's going to happen, but that's most certainly a possibility. Tennessee was irrelevant for 15 years straight. Although they're doing really good right now, it's not insane to say they could have a bad year within the next 10 years. So then at that point, they're going to say, well, things have changed. We now need to charge 20% so we can really compete. Then it's going to go up to 25, 30, and it's an endless cycle. This just flat out sucks, and I could go on and on and on and list off all these different reasons, but I think you guys understand it. This is like the tipping culture in America has now been added to college football. It's no different from buying a ticket and now there's an option to tip 10%. That's what you're doing at Tennessee. I'm just going to end off this video before I go on another pretzel rant. I'm curious. Let me know your thoughts on all this down below. But Romany.